my goodness, it's on!
God.
Holy smokes, Batman! Bedtime Stories is about to begin!
Perseverance.
I'm gonna let
Perseverance.
Cynthia just handle this whole introduction while I get myself together.
Yay, Red! Yay!
I'm glad you did it, Red.
Well, people, we had some technical difficulties, and now we're here. So, hello.
Hello.
We're late, but we're here.
Hello.
Ain't nobody gotta go anywhere anyway. Stay home.
We gotta do speaker view.
They're gonna disfigure you.
So you got speaker view happening?
I got speaker view.
All right, I'm sorry. I don't want to ask for more shit. I'll be like, bitch, leave me alone. Stop it already with your fucking giggles. I'm stressed out. She's been through so much, folks. So please, if you can, give Red a tip tonight, okay?
Yeah, give Red a tip. You could use it.
She deserves it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bedtime Stories.
Welcome and thank you for your patience. Unfortunately, sometimes the internet's be hating. And tonight, you know, sometimes it happens, but we're back and we're here with two lovely guests that we are so happy to have join us and to be patient with us and to still be smiling. Please welcome the producer, DJ, man about town,
singer, songwriter,
Josh Milan.
Hey, y'all. Good to be here.
And also, please welcome the lovely, wonderful, I called her a house music maven.
And I thought it was so perfect.
Long time, let's see, what would we call her? I'm gonna call her the table runner. Doris Goliatha, welcome. Now, Doris, did I say your name right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
You did. I always thought it was Goliatha.
Both.
Goliatha?
Well, Goliatha is, you know, the regular pronunciation, but you know,
Okay.
Goliatha.
And what kind of name is that, Doris?
Oh, it's an African name, actually.
Because you are from the Africa.
I am from Central Africa Republic, born and raised, and came into the United States of the People when I was young with my dad. You know, well, actually, my mom and brothers and sisters. My dad was here first, you know, working for the embassy.
Did somebody just do an air horn sound? I want to know what that was about.
I feel like that's somebody's phone buzzing, no?
Oh, because it was like, bah, bah, like
I heard it too. I don't know what it was.
Am I bugging?
No, I heard it. We all heard it.
I think it might have been my phone.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. That was a super big up. I love it.
Well, let's begin.
Yes, let's.
Well, so, first of all, I'm Red and
I'm Sin Rose. And this is Bedtime Stories.
Like I said, we had a little technical issue, but we are now here. To our friends on the Instagram, if we get cut off, we're not coming back. So join us on our Twitches. Look at the flyer and it'll tell you where to go.
That's right. It's basically Redness Parties or Sin Rose NYC on Twitch. Super easy. Like, you know where you're at. Let's go. Bedtime Stories. We have actually, during this entire time that we were having some technical delays, we got started. So also, if you want to catch some of that bonus footage, which will not be a part of this interview or live stream, please catch the archives when we post them on our YouTube channel, Sin Rose and Redness's Bedtime Stories.
What she said. So, as we usually do, we ask the guest who you are and why you think we invited you here. So tonight we're going to do ladies first. Doris, who are you and why do you think we invited you to be here tonight?
Okay, well, I'm not sure why I was invited to be here, especially in the company of Josh Milan, but
Oh, you kidding me?
I'm just me, Doris Goliatha. I do a lot of things, such as well, I work in the healthcare field. I'm a braider. I am
Wait, did you say you're a breeder?
a
Braider.
braider.
She
A
braids.
braider. Okay.
A braider, yeah, hairstylist. And let's see, what else I do?
Well, what are you doing? What are you doing in our scene? Why do we know you?
I work with a bunch of people. I work with Louis Vega. I do his merchandise, and when we were doing parties, sometimes I would do hostessing, or sometimes I would do the door. I've also worked for our special guest, Josh Milan. I do
I
his
stole it from
merchandise
Louis.
also.
Kept it ever since.
Yeah, I've worked for a couple of other people. I've done stuff with, let's see, who else? Mickey. I work for Mickey. I work with our brothers from Ritmo y Tumbao. I work their parties also. Yeah, during the door. So yeah, that's me.
How'd you land that job?
I don't know.
Just landed it, right?
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah, he asked me
You
one
became
day,
part of the
and
fabric.
yeah, he asked me one day, and like, it wasn't really like asking. It was like, I think you're the perfect person for this, and so, you're gonna be a part of this, and that was it.
But Louis was the first person that you worked for in the nightlife, like,
Yeah.
or was there some other place first?
Yeah, Louis. Louis was the first.
Nice.
And Josh.
Yeah, that's me.
Want to tell us a little bit about who you are and why you think we invited you?
Yes, sure. I am Josh Milan. I'm a singer-songwriter. I have a record label. We specialize in soulful dance music, house music, soulful house. I feel like I'm invited because you all are um, part of the fabric of soulful music, period, and nightlife in New York. And we've become family. And you guys are doing this thing and kind of recapturing moments that we've had in the past. And I feel like after knowing you guys for so many years, if we're going to talk about good old stories, I'm in. So I feel like, because of my 30 years in this game, I've been invited.
I love it.
Yeah,
I want to say congratulations on the charting of the record out on Honeycomb
Oh
Music.
yeah, Lamone. He did that Eddie Kendricks jam. Girl, you need a change.
I was listening to it yesterday.
He killed it. He killed it. He killed it.
Yeah.
So thank you. Went #1. That was fun. Yeah, that was
Woohoo!
fun.
Nice.
Yeah. God is good, y'all. I mean, we're in this pandemic and somehow we're still rolling, Now a lot of people are not really rolling like that right now. But God is good. He's given us what we have and we're able to do what we do. So I just spoke to someone today who's not as fortunate. Well, he's fine, but his brother is not fine. And this COVID thing is beating us up so badly. So I'm just grateful to still be able to do what I do.
Sighs, I hear.
Sorry to bring it down. Did I bring on the
you
mood?
didn't bring it down at all. We all face that same reality. We all have that in common right now, so not at all. It is what it is. It can't always be wine and roses.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how you guys doing?
I don't know.
Doing good. I'm doing good today.
I'm happy to hear that, Doris. So I've got a question for you, Doris, because you mentioned some names, but I know that you work with someone who is pretty much a perfectionist. What is that like for you?
Keeps me on my toes. Keeps you thinking, and it makes me think. It makes me think so I can do stuff the way it's supposed to be done. Yeah, so I like that because I'm usually I'm an introvert. So working with someone like that, I have to come out of my shell and think outside and do outside the box. So yeah, that's good for me.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just getting mine. So Josh.
Yes.
So when did you know you had a gift?
When did I know I had a what?
A gift.
Oh, very early on. I grew up in a family of musicians. I have a cousin who still is a better musician than I am. He was the main musician at this church that I was going to, and this guy played the organ, and everybody loved him because he was so good. And I just really, really wanted to be him. Anything he did, I wanted to be him. So one Sunday, you all are familiar with Black churches, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So one Sunday, the Spirit took over, and he jumped off the organ. And he just jumped out and started shouting, dancing, right? Nobody was on the organ. This was my chance. You get it? I jumped on that organ. It was as though the ship was unmanned. I just got on, and I'm playing in the wrong key. I'm just totally ruining everything. I'm killing the moment. But it was my first bite of I gotta be a musician thing. So that's to answer your question, Red. That's when I knew, when I was in church as a 12-year-old, I had to be a musician.
I've got a question about that. Were you already up on stage, or did you come out of the audience?
I was sitting next, there was a chair. It was almost like an apprentice chair next to the organ. And the organ was in the middle of the sanctuary. So if he jumped off the organ and dances, you're right in the heart of the everything.
Right.
And there was no other musician. And I just felt like, oh my God, this is my moment. And I knew I ruined it, because as soon as I got on the organ, just like in the club, when you're DJing and you play the wrong record, everybody clears the dance floor. Well, the Spirit just totally just dropped down. As soon as I started playing, everybody was like,
jump on that organ.
The excitement on me, though. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Tchaikovsky. I killed it.
You believed in yourself, so you got on.
I killed it, Doris.
Right.
I killed it. I mean, I really didn't know. The organ is a Hammond organ. Most church organs are a Hammond B3 organ.
Yeah.
And this organ has settings that a skilled musician would know how to use these settings.
Right.
But a novice, a kid, I don't know anything about these settings. All I knew was just pull them out. I was just pulling them out and just going for it. You couldn't tell me. I'm telling you, I remember that day. I felt like I became a musician that day.
So that's I mean, but clearly you knew how to get behind a set of keys at that point because you were
I
already
kind of
into
didn't. I really didn't because the
the
organ is a
organ is
beast.
different from a piano, and
Yes,
most
it is
people, if they know how to play a piano, they think they could maybe jump on an organ, but
because
it's
it looks the
different because
same.
the keys play
Yeah.
differently. They have
Right.
certain. There's definitely a huge difference.
Totally different beast.
Yes.
But because I played my cousin would allow me to play the piano because the piano wasn't mic'd. Nobody could hear the piano. So he would let me just
Ah.
on a Sunday. You could, man. I was so proud to be on the piano in the church. And I'm just playing, just killing. You couldn't tell me I wasn't killing it. And I knew I
Ah.
now that I'm an adult, I knew that he was just being nice and allowing me to play, But God knows I
Mm.
thought I was the man. My whole attitude changed. I was a cat all of a sudden.
I love it. But you know what? It's that's something to say about like how as an adults and how as older people we can inspire youth, right? Even
Yeah.
in different ways, right? So
Yeah.
I'm curious, Doris, how do you think that some of the older folks on the scene could inspire some of the younger folks on the scene nowadays?
That's a great question. That is a great question.
Mm. Um, Welcome them. Just let them be. Welcome them and let them be.
Do
Don't,
you think we've
don't try
lost
to
them?
uh not that we lost them, but a lot of people still trying to put out there that, back then or we used to this and that, and it's like it's
I
not
hate
the
that.
same time anymore.
It's not.
That was then, because just like the people before us, they had their time and the way things were with them. And then we at our time, things are, for the way things are with us. So with them, let them be. I mean, you could tell them stories, but, let them be and let them do, you know, let them do their own thing. Each
Yeah.
generation is going to be different. You can't
Hmm.
say, well, do it like this because that's the way we did it. No,
We
you could
didn't
tell them the
include
stories
them.
of how we did. Yeah.
Right. So I would love to know the answer to the same question for you, Josh, but also I have a question from Sugar Lyrics here in the
Uh-huh.
chat that
Oh,
asks Josh, what's the easiest instrument to learn in your opinion? So I'd like to
Um,
know the answer.
the easiest instrument to learn, in my opinion, would be voice. You don't need to put an instrument in your hand. You can actually start singing right now. You might suck, but it might be a good thing to just try and
Huh.
see what you got. So voice singing would probably be the easiest. But if you want to know like another instrument, try piano because there's only 13 notes on the piano. Uh, each there's probably doubles, but they're the same note, so it's pretty easy. You can
Mm.
get it simply.
Okay. I
I
didn't
wish I could
expect
sing.
voice, so I like that answer.
Oh yeah, voice
It certainly is an instrument,
for
but
sure.
unfortunately, not all of us use it.
But we can all learn. What you was gonna say, Doris? You was about to say something.
No, I was saying I wish I could sing.
You can. I
Well,
think
it's
I
never
think
too
singing
late.
is like
Start now.
I've tried. I don't think I have that voice. Mm.
yeah.
Well, you're familiar with what's her name? I don't know if you know Kim Burrell. She's a gospel vocalist and she's applauded, or people really love her because she has skill set unmatched by a lot of vocalists. However,
Hmm.
James Taylor, I've
Yeah.
seen fire and he doesn't sing anything like that. But James Taylor is a millionaire a few times over with his dry voice. And that goes
Mm.
to show you that there's room for everybody. I'm a big James Taylor fan, but he can't sing next to Dawn Tallman. It
Right.
just won't,
No.
he won't survive. But
Yeah.
the man is a millionaire. He's got followers all over the world following him because
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
There's room for everybody, Doris. You can sing, is what I'm trying to say.
That's what I was
Okay.
trying to say when I said you could sing, is because I feel like singing as well as like dancing, and that is an art form, right? And art is
Mhm.
about expression. So if you're really just true to your expression, then you certainly can have a voice to share it, right?
Yeah.
And there's
Right.
certainly an audience for whatever voice you put out there, and it may not be like the highest
Yeah, the
quality,
best. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
but you got to be not afraid to do that, because I'll go up there and be like me 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 me.
I think artists have a hard time with criticism.
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
hard one.
ain't nothing to it but to do it. I went outside of my comfort zone and sang over this COVID time. Like, what else are we doing?
And you're good,
Oh, that was
man.
lovely. That
You are
was
so
lovely.
good, Red. I
Yeah.
love to hear you sing.
I
Yeah.
was getting ready to say, they say I can sing allegedly.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. I heard that. That was good.
Thank
I was
you.
like, wait, that's Red. What?
So where can I hear this, Red?
I'll send it to you. I
That's
will
wonderful.
send it to you. But
I want to hear what you're doing.
Josh, I'm still curious as to your answer to the question about the youth and what we can do to what was the word you used, Cynthia?
Include?
Fire. I was saying.
Inspire was the word. Inspire.
Well, listen, you know what? I had an idea. I had a great idea, and I think I was influenced by Black Coffee, if I'm not mistaken. Many years ago, many years ago, Black Coffee did something in South Africa and included a lot of high school students. Now, it's nothing for me to call Louis or call Clausel or any one of the cats and say, hey, let's go to a high school, right? Let's have a DJing contest. Here's the catch. You gotta play house music. If you play house music, $500. The first, Now you're gonna have a bunch of cats trying to learn to get that money.
Yeah.
Right. They're gonna learn
High
music.
school.
Yeah.
High school. And you do that at the baddest high school there is in that city. I mean, the worst one, the one with all the fights, the worst, the most effed up one, go there. You will turn whatever that high school on to house, and we can bring a few of our youngest dancers that we know that can really loft dance and make it look attractive.
Yeah.
Right in the high school, you freak them out. You freak them right out. That's how I think you could do it, Red.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
I love
Yeah.
Then they can have a different kind of battle.
What's that?
They
Yeah.
can have a different kind of battle, because a lot of times when kids get into dance, they will battle dance each other as opposed to fighting each other.
Yeah.
Because that's
You know how
something
you
that
do
they can
back in the day?
share.
You was at
So,
Truman.
yeah, I was in Truman.
Yeah, you remember that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh and I went to high school together.
Yeah. Who knew?
Ah.
Yeah, who
Fun
knew?
fact,
Allegedly.
right? Shout out to our music teacher,
Allegedly.
shout out to Mr. Dennis Bell, our music teacher. I have a question for you, Josh. Patrick Wilson, hey Patrick, wants to know. He says that he knows that you're a huge fan of Jaco Pastorius.
Jaco Pastorius.
And he's wondering how you feel he sits. Let me get this right now. How you feel that Thundercat sits next to Jaco?
Oh, that's a great question. Thundercat, his name is Stephen Bruner. He's an amazing musician. He plays the bass, and he also sings when he plays. And what's the question again? How do
you feel that Thundercat sits next to Jaco?
I think that Thundercat is oranges and Jaco is apples. Like they're totally night and day from each other. However, Thundercat would be an awesome student up under Jaco, because I think Jaco has a wider range, and his reach is just far beyond with Thundercat. Maybe Thundercat has a lot more growing to do to catch up to Jocko, but he's an awesome musician. I love, love, love Thundercat. I'm such a fan of music, y'all. I still buy CDs. I still read the credits. I'll go online to see who played on Robert Glasper's album because they don't give you that information on iTunes anymore. Sometimes they do, but not all the time. So now I got to go searching. I still love it like that, you know. I'm glad he asked me a music question like that, like a Jocko question. That's dope. Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick. Doris, I have a question for you. Des Uno would like to know what motivates you to dedicate your time to the scene.
I guess seeing the people happy. It's you know, it's almost still like taking care of people and seeing them happy. That like the return is, you know, is worth it for me.
That's a lovely answer.
That was lovely.
You're right. It's so simple, and yeah, that's great.
It is. I have a question for both of you, and it is if there were a dream person that you could imagine yourself working with, either dead or alive, in the music industry in any capacity, who would that be, and how would you work with them?
That's a great question. It's so many of them, but if I had to narrow it down to one person, who would I work with musically? There's a young guy. His name is Jacob Collier, and he's a young white guy from England. He might be in his 30s. This kid is all of the best musicians you know, and all of the best vocal arrangers, like Take Six. He does that kind of harmony.
Yeah.
And then he goes like real hip hop on you and real pop and real jazz. He is phenomenal. So I would love to counter with Jacob and see what we can come up with my experience from New York and his with his jazz and all his influences. We'll come up with something beautiful.
All right.
That doesn't mean
I don't know who he is, so it makes
right. I'm over here thinking
about him. So I love that.
Early
it
Jacob
doesn't
Collier.
like it's hard at all.
When this kid was in his teens, like 17, 16, he was messing around with a lot of computer programs. So he would do these little short videos of himself singing, right? But here's the thing, the arrangements that he's singing is like the Michael Jordan of arrangements. Nobody's doing that. He's doing crazy stuff. And he's a kid. Right. So he makes these videos and it's like a Zoom call. It's like 6 Jacob Colliers, right? All of them singing different notes, harmony. Crazy. The dude is next level. Quincy Jones snatched him up real quick. Yeah. He's crazy. Chaka Khan would be another one. 1974 Chaka Khan.
That's real specific.
Yeah, let me be very clear. 74.
Love it. What about you, Doris? Any person?
The simplest one that comes to mind would be Aretha Franklin. I would want to dress her.
Why?
I would want to dress her.
Oh,
nice.
Because I think that, you know, she wasn't being dressed properly for her body.
Her body type.
Yeah.
I think that was her being, y'all ain't gonna tell me what to wear. You know, this is what I like and this is what I'm gonna wear. I think it was something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be true or not. I just think it was.
Yeah. Well, we will have to work together because, girlfriend.
Go on, sorry.
That shit not working.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So then if you're going to do that, well, let me throw a little bit of this on there and that way and this, and then you could go ahead with it like that.
I seen Aretha Franklin wear a spaghetti strap top. Y'all know Aretha Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And the spaghetti started like down here.
Yeah.
You feel me? It was
Yeah.
like my necklace. It was like that, like way down here though. I was like, oh
Yeah.
snap.
I mean, I
Like that. Why they doing like that?
I love her, but some of the stuff that these people were letting her get out there in is like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
come
I'll show
on
you a
now.
clip, old Soul Train clip. Aretha was almost naked on stage. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, this lady's going for it.
Yeah. That's
Well,
the only
you know what? She can sing.
Oh
So
yeah.
man,
That's the only
now,
you
thing.
better
if
believe it.
she couldn't sing, that'd be a whole different story. But
Yeah.
because she can, it's like that
Yeah.
overrides everything that
Yeah.
she sings.
She can more than
Yeah.
sing, Red. She
Yeah.
changed lives.
Whew.
Dang.
She
Mm.
changed lives for sure.
Yeah. Um, I have
Well,
a
what about you,
I have a
Red?
couple of
And what
questions.
about you, bro? Who are y'all? First of all, if you don't mind me asking y'all a question,
No.
Not at all.
who are you guys listening to right now? Who's in your music repertoire in your ears?
An artist or a DJ?
Yeah,
This is a very
an artist.
specific question. An artist, you know what? I can't say that I've been listening to any specific artist.
Mm.
Um,
Nobody's catching. Nobody's like, oh, who's that?
you know what? I haven't really been paying attention because I've been sort of in a little bubble. I've been listening to whatever is kind of there, and I haven't been seeking out new things right now because I'm working
Mm.
on other things. So it's just
Mhm.
kind of whatever is happening.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, in terms of like artists that I'm listening to right now, like I always listen to Prince. He's my favorite all-time artist. I always listen to him. He's like, if I'm getting on the train, I got an 8-hour Prince mix on my phone. That's
Mm.
going in my ears, and I can get everywhere I gotta go and not ever have to miss a dope record.
Mm.
Aside from that, I'm listening to like other stuff. Like stuff that wouldn't be necessarily like, like I'll listen to like Tom York or
Oh, whoa, okay.
like the singer from Radiohead, if you guys
You went real there with it. All right.
or I'll listen to like I love like artists like Herbie Hancock, like
Right.
like so I like that. It's a wide range,
Right.
and I don't really try to close my ears.
Yeah.
I try to stay open with that. So
Has there ever been a nightclub or an event, a regular event that you attended that hosted music that you just described, that whole eclectic, that big, long horizon of music that you just mentioned? Tom York to Herbie Hancock is
I
A
think
to Z.
that so in the past, I feel like the parties that would happen at Joe's Pub with Beverly Bonds were
Yeah.
some of the parties that I would hear a wide range of genres.
Hmm.
And it could be anything. And I really love those kinds of nights where you can go into a place and say, I don't know what I'm going to hear, but whatever it is, I know I want it.
Right.
Right.
That's dope.
And I would say that another party that happens now that does that is the Originals, which is Tony Touch, Clark Kent, D Nice, Stretch Armstrong, and Rich Medina. And they do back to back, and they've been doing that party. And I work the door for that party. So they've been doing that party for like 7 years or something like that. And
that sounds like a nice one. I've never been to that one.
it's freaking awesome, man.
It is
because it's
awesome.
one of those things, and they're brothers, so they kind of have this little.
You got that thing happening.
You're gonna play that? Watch this.
Right.
And then
That
everybody
energy.
benefits from that.
Oh, that sounds good. That's my type of thing right there.
So yeah,
That's-
those are the two that come to mind in terms of like hearing different genres. I think we're missing a lot of that now. I think that we need more of that because I feel like that's one of the ways that we can get, people that may not necessarily know our music to understand how our feeling, like, you know what I'm saying?
We come from the same branch, come from the same tree.
Yeah.
I think
That's what I love
that's
about
important.
Rich Medina.
yeah. Yeah, I
I
love
love Rich.
my brother.
Yeah,
I count myself
we all love Rich.
Rich is a funny dude.
That's my brother, my
He's the
tall, slim brother.
funniest dude ever.
I listen to country music too.
You know, I
I'm
lived
not
in
mad at
Texas.
country music myself, Doris. I like country music too.
I lived in
What
Texas.
kind of music?
Country.
Oh yeah.
See, all of y'all are good. I lived in Texas for like 5 years on and off. And I would say of all the genres of music, there are certain songs that I think are really truly beautiful in country music. They do have some very beautiful music.
Lyrics.
Yeah.
However, it's not my vibe and it's not my scene.
Right.
Well, I don't know about my scene, but I enjoy some country music, and
Yeah.
I definitely do that. I'm definitely not stuck in one genre at all, ever.
Right.
And I also love drum and bass.
Yes.
Yeah, I love a lot of different things. All sorts
Drum
of
and bass.
I like
I got a
drum,
drum and bass song. Yeah.
classic rock. I mean, just I like everything as long as it's good music.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as much as I'm into house music and stuff, at home, I don't really play that. I mean, unless I'm listening to someone on, on Twitch, only music I play at home is jazz.
You listen to Beatty Bell?
I listen to jazz music.
What's the artist name, Doris?
Billy Abel.
Yeah, Beatty Bell. That's her name, Beatty Bell.
Yeah, that's an artist from from back home that I listen to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just
You
play her
turned me
music,
on to her. I thought she was great.
and it takes me back to my childhood. It's crazy. I could like things that I forgot just from hearing her music. It brings everything back. I can remember like, sometimes when my parents used to have parties and like, all the grown-ups, that's the thing. It's in a house and everybody's like up dancing, whether it be a couple or whatever. And all the kids are like outside, like, peeking in or, also dancing outside ourselves. Little things like that comes back to me.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss. I really miss our scene. This is making me sad because here we are, like looking at each other through the phone and things. Like,
It's better than nothing.
It sure is.
I know.
that is the best. You know
Thank God
what?
for
You know
this
what?
though.
That was true. That touche. Whoever said that is better than nothing.
It is.
Thank God for that. Yeah, because if it
Touche.
wasn't because
You
of
got me
this,
there.
oh my
We've
God.
lost our minds. I know I
You
would.
got me there. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I have
I got
lots of
nothing.
questions here in the chat. How about you, Ben?
I have a question for Doris.
Okay.
And Doris, what is the biggest lesson that you could say that you learned in working in the clubs?
Not to judge people, because everyone come there to release whatever it is that's going on in their life, or it could just be for the joy that they're there to receive from the music. So yeah, never judge people.
Well, I
You
want to
have
say
to.
that.
Yeah. I hear that, Doris. What you say?
No, I was going to say, I want to say, Mr. V said, Doris, thank you so much for being a frontline worker. I know we said that in our private convo earlier. But let's say a public
V.
thank you, Doris.
Thanks, Doris.
Thanks, V.
And for you, Josh, our friend Brian Polite would like to know, in terms of songwriting and production, who are your favorites?
In terms of songwriting and production, I have a couple of favorites, Brian. What's up? First of all, peace, Brian. I love you, brother. Very talented man, Brian. My favorites right now, my favorites are always changing. But right now, my favorites are still the classics. James Taylor, who I mentioned. Sting comes to mind from The Police. Sting writes stories still. He still tells stories in his song. He got a song called Practical Arrangement.
Yeah.
And he's telling this young lady, look, I know we're not like totally in love with each other, but we can work this out because it just makes sense. You got a little boy, I could be a father to your boy. I mean, you don't love me, but you will.
Mm.
Hmm.
Ooh,
Whoa,
that's deep.
whoa.
That's deep.
He
That's some
wrote
deep
the
words.
crap out of that. And the melody matches what he's saying. So he's sounding almost sad because he
Mm.
doesn't have this I'm in love with you. Oh, I can't wait till you get home, girl. You don't have that relationship. He's asking her for a practical arrangement. Ah,
Ah.
y'all, that
Ooh.
Brian, that's one of my favorites. Sting. And as far as production is concerned, productions these days are starting to go back to the 70s where the production was more like Earth, Wind, and Fire. It wasn't just, I know it says on the album, it says one producer, Maurice White, but Maurice didn't come up with all of those parts. You got the bass player, Verdine White on the bass, Larry Dunn on the keys. They all came up with their own little thing.
Right.
And Philip Bailey, he came up with the arrangement, the vocal arrangement, ba, 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 all of that. And so everybody was a mishmash of ideas that made their production sound that way. So today, um, my favorite producer, that's a hard one. It might be, ooh, wow, it's so quiet here. Look, y'all. Y'all just waiting.
What? Who is it?
Oh,
Tell her.
snap. Y'all just got quiet.
Who is it? Who is it? Who?
Ah, I like a guy named, I see this is hard because I don't want to say, oh, yeah, I got you here. Tall black guy. Tall Black Guy Productions. There's a guy named Ahmed Saror. Dope. Um, and what's this other guy? Tall Black Guy Productions. What's the other guy, Red? He's hot right now. He's Katie Tatham.
I'm glad you didn't continue with that line of questioning for me.
Katie Tatham. All dope producers, keyboard players, arrangers. Just they still got music in their minds without too much technology. I'm an organic guy. I like, human touch. And they still got a little bit of both, the hip hop and the Kendrick Lamar thing, hip hop and music and, talent all day.
Right.
All right, it's right. Um,
I love talking about music, y'all. Y'all can keep me all night talking
well,
about music.
Josh, I have Des Uno has a series of questions for you, but I'm going to choose one of them.
Oh, Des, hey, Des.
Hi, Des.
Maybe I'll combine two of them. He wants to know what's the most fun for you in the studio. And I like this one. When you have an idea but you're not close to your equipment or your studio, how do you preserve the idea?
You take your smartphone and you do voice memos. So I actually grab my phone and I go, all right, Josh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doom, 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 doom. I'm actually singing in my phone the idea. And that if I can't get to my studio, that's how I do it. What was the first part of the question?
What's the most fun for you in the studio?
The fun part is obviously the creating. That's the fun part. But not the creating. I create alone. As you can see, I'm here by myself right now. And that's how I do most of my music. I do everything by myself. But the fun part is when I get a collaborator in here. Let's say I often get Dawn Torment in here. When we going back and forth doing vocals together, Dawn comes up with some great arrangements, and so we arrange together, and that's always nice to get other ideas. I used to try to do it all. I wanted to be the man, do everything, but it's so much better when somebody else add their ingredient. It's just so much. It comes out so much better every time. Me and Louis work well together like that.
Okay.
I love it when you used to do little pieces of videos in the studio. Like today you do this and that, whatever. And it's like, okay. And then tomorrow you come back like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Add it to what I did yesterday. That was nice.
I always love that kind of stuff.
I love it. So Doris, I have a question from Sugar Lyrics, and she says, "What is the one night that you'll never forget?" Like in terms of
Oh
like, do
man,
you have a story about like one night that you could never forget in the nightlife working scene or being around?
there's many, many, many,
Well,
many.
Doris, I'm gonna throw out
The-
because I was going to ask you what the craziest experience you had, so maybe you can answer all of
Uh,
that.
okay. Um, okay, one I could say is it was actually in Miami, and it was a night where it was an outdoor party where I think Josh played, and we had George Benson, no, what's his name, from the Funkadelic,
Oh, George Clinton.
Parliament, George Clinton.
George Clinton. It was him, and like his family. They were all like background singers and stuff. And it was an outdoor party near a pool. And I think, yeah, when I heard the music playing and I was out there, just looked up in the sky at the stars, and just the feeling that came over me, it's like, okay, this can never end.
Wow.
I need this. I need this.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
dope.
That is dope.
That's memorable. I have a couple of other ones, but craziest? There's too many crazy ones. I can't even think of
Pick
one right
one.
now.
Pick one.
I can't even
Why am
I
I
can't even think of
scared?
one
Should
right
I like leave?
now. No. No, 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 no. Yeah, go on, come back to me. Let me think about it.
Well, Josh, unless Red, you have a question. I have a question from Stamina Jones that asks about Dion Cole's rendition of "Thinking About Your Body." And have you heard it? And if you have, how did it make you feel to hear that?
I don't know if Dion did a version, but I know
A rendition of it of sorts.
he
Of
did what?
he did a well. What it says is he did a rendition of it.
He
Really? What did
probably
he do? Did
sang it or
he
something.
sing?
I guess he
I
sang.
have no idea, but Dion has done a lot of Josh Milan pushing lately, and my Instagram numbers have changed because of it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And I'm
he
grateful to
loves you.
Dion. He calls me and we talk. It's like the strangest thing. And I'm grateful for somebody in that kind of status loving what we do. You know what I mean? And shouts to Louis because it was through Louis that we all kind of got to know Dion. Dion came to this club looking for Louis. I happened to be there that night, and Dion knew my music, but he wasn't there looking for me.
Oh,
And but I'm
he said
grateful
he lip synced it. By the way, I'm just getting this message. He lip synced "Thinking About Your Body."
Oh, he
Apparently,
lip synced it. Okay, okay,
I
okay.
gotta
Yeah,
watch this.
Dion,
Then.
he's super, super
Yeah,
supportive, super nice guy. Great dude.
he does that when he's playing. He'll
Get,
stop, put the
get
headphone
into
down,
it.
and he's like singing
Yeah,
into
he
the
sounds good.
camera.
He's a
Anytime.
Yeah,
joy to
I
watch.
have fun to watch.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got the right energy.
Dion.
Yeah, he got the right. He's got the love for the music and not necessarily like the man is already a star. You know what I mean? Already a household name. So he ain't looking for any fame.
Right.
Um, he actually is passionate about the music thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was speaking to him once, and I was just kind of shocked at how serious this dude is about the DJ thing. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, brother, you got it. Respect, totally, totally respect. I'll
Nice.
check his
Well, that's
show
good.
out
I
Sunday.
guess we'll be calling you, Josh, when it's time to have Dion on Bedtime Stories.
Right.
I sure, call me. I can say, hey, Dion. I don't know.
So Josh, Tony C would like to know what kind of guitar you write on.
That's a great question. I used to. I'm an Epiphone guy. I play Epiphone guitars often. I have Ibanez and I have a couple of customs here. But I find the Epiphone ES339, it's like a cross between a jazz guitar and a more versatile Les Paul. You know, I like to feel. I'm a novice guitar player, but this guitar makes me feel like I know what I'm doing, and I feel comfortable around it. I can actually make shapes, no problem, like I'm George Benson or somebody. So yeah, the Epiphone ES339 is my axe, man. That's where I live.
Right.
Little Pretty Ricky is what I call it. I wish I had it. Yeah.
I love it. The question, Red, or
Yes,
shall
I do.
Okay, go for it.
My question is for Doris. Doris,
Uh-huh.
how long have you been working? Well, actually, what was the first place that you worked in a nightclub? And how long have you been doing it?
First place I worked in a nightclub actually was Miami.
But okay, so go ahead.
And it's been, well, this year would have been, I'll say 19 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in Miami, that was what?
That was it was one of Louis' parties, actually. Yeah.
So it was Louis that you worked for first. Okay. Thank you for that bit of information.
It was where, like, sorry.
That's
It
all
was
right.
one of those things where oh yeah, it's like one year it was like, you should come to Miami. It's so much fun, you know. So I went, had so much fun, and I think it was the following year, it was like, okay, well, we need people to do merchandise. Want to do it? I was like, okay. And it just started from there.
Hmm.
You do it so well too, Doris. You
You
kill
do.
it. You kill it. You know what you're doing.
Thank you.
Do you guys, you ladies, think that there is a place for live music in our scene?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Do
know
you
what
see
they
it happening or no?
like in the future?
Yeah, in the near future.
I don't know about the near future, but absolutely.
I
The
was
the
saying,
budget for the live music might be questionable.
How do you think we should address that? Because our culture is a DJ culture.
I think
Period. One price, one flight, one hotel room. Period. Now you're
yeah.
talking band, you're talking 4 or 5 people.
at
How,
least.
how do we switch that? How do we
To
kind of
me,
work with that?
I say that may be more doable than probably the dancing, only because of the fact that you could have a band playing music while people are sitting, social distant,
Hmm.
and enjoy the music. You could
Mm.
tap your feet, move around and stuff, because you're
That
not going to be
compromises
able
our culture,
to,
though.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think that,
You're not going to be able to.
with everything is like an adjustment and a learning curve, right? If
Yeah,
we
yeah.
want to nurture something and we want to make sure that it happens, we do have to nurture it. Like we have to build it, we have to
Yeah, I can do
create
it.
it, because if not, it'll not happen, right?
Mm.
Yeah,
And I think that
yeah,
there's room enough for everybody, and there are creative ways that we can do more,
Hmm.
you know? Um, I think that like in the future there may be a more of like an investment per se from some of these venues,
Okay.
because you know they're going to realize that they need some of that additional support to keep their doors open or to keep the business flowing in when people
yeah.
are not wanting to go out, right? And
Mm-hmm.
what we do is things that draw people to it, right?
Hmm.
So I just think that we have to nurture it. I don't like Red said, I don't see anything happening in the near future, but it is something that we should start to consider and develop, because I think that there's so much more that we could do to make this scene more vibrant and wholesome and also more friendly to the world, because I think that what happens is we start with like, we love it, whatever, and like, you know, we're together doing stuff, and but there's not enough of us doing stuff together that
Right.
would allow us to branch out in a way that reaches the masses.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This
Well,
whole pandemic thing is still fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a minute. Like you said, Rose, it's going to take a minute. The learning curve is going to be, you know, something. But can we survive a learning curve? Like, you know, like we're not seeing each other now. How long will it be before we do? And when we come back, will it even be what we know it to be? I'm optimistic, just so you know. I'm very optimistic. I don't want to sound negative.
no, you sound realistic. We're all trying to be optimistic. You sound realistic though.
yeah.
I think now is a good time for many live artists though. I know people don't want to do things or necessarily work for free, but I
They
think
have to.
now is a good time for a live artist or whoever to start putting themselves out there because everybody is home, because
Right.
you can get a lot of people's attention that you don't even know right now. And
Right.
then when it comes time to actually go out into the world, or if you're that good, you can do a few things for free and then say, hey, I'm going to do this again next week, but it's going to cost you, you know, $10 or whatever it is to enter this room, even if it's
Yeah.
online, you know, and this way, when things do go live and you're out in the world, people will follow
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. You have a following.
The what I'm seeing is if you don't get into this culture of playing on the internet like we're doing right now, you may stand to lose. You know, you
Yeah.
may stand to lose. People are putting their resources together, doing shows
Mm-hmm.
like this,
Yep.
and this
Yeah.
may be what we have to do right now.
Yeah.
So even myself, who I am not okay with doing that, I just don't feel like you're going to get the experience that I want you to get. But I don't have much of a choice. I kind of got to rock like that just to stay relevant. I got new music coming. There's no way I can perform it, so I have to do what I got to do. You know.
Mhm.
I mean, it depends on how you present it. Look at, not to compare, but the way that, look at the big hoopla that happened when John Legend said, I'm going to sing a few songs online, and
Right.
millions of people watched. So
Yeah.
if you did something like that, it's just, it's the same to me, just in a smaller, you know, in a smaller aspect. But
Well.
I think also it's important for us to take advantage of this global opportunity that we have to reach people.
Yeah.
And people are
Online.
looking at it in a very short-sighted way and in a very small-minded local way. We really need to be focusing on spreading ourselves out to the world because the world is really here at our fingertips.
Well, we at Honeycomb are going to get more into the internet in terms of performances and things. Adam, who is my partner, he's very excited about doing more video, more visuals. So we'll see. You know, we'll have to get into it because we need to do what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna just wither because I don't have nowhere to perform. You know, I have to make it happen. So I'm gonna do it. I'm
wonderful.
compelled.
The one
I'm
you
committed.
and the one you and Dawn did for Lincoln Park, that was nice.
We had a good time, right? It was just in here
Yeah.
funning around, you know, having
That
fun.
was very nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Dawn is a trip.
Mhm.
Doris, I have a question. And I know, Doris, that first of all, Doris, I know you have to get up early in the morning. So, you know, just say the word. But DJ Stingray says he cannot thank you enough for what you do out in your actual life. and
Thank you,
um,
Mom.
and he asked, how long have you been in healthcare and what made you get into it and why?
I've been in healthcare for about almost 20 years.
Nice.
and working with hospice patients about, I'll say 15. And I got into it because of a friend of mine at the time whose mother got sick, and like the caregiver, she had a good one. So from her example, I was like, maybe I should get into that because I was in retail. And I was like, I want to do something different. And so, yeah, I went and, you know, took the classes and got my certificate and got a job from that. And that was it. Never looked back.
Very special to do that,
Awesome.
Doris.
Right.
Yes.
Somebody
And for
inspired
old
you.
people. That's
Yeah, that's
special.
the very nice.
I
You
would
took
like,
care of one of our people. You mind telling everybody, Doris?
Oh, yeah. Sybil.
Yeah,
Oh, sweet.
yeah. That was
Sweet
awesome.
Sybil Jeffries. Yeah.
I felt more comfortable knowing that she was under your care. You knew who she was, you know?
Mhm.
Mhm.
You could give her that love. They didn't know her like that, you know?
Yeah.
Sweet table.
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
special, especially at such a scary time to be able to have somebody that's a face that's recognizable.
Hmm.
And like, like I said earlier, I really can't admire you more than I do with like all of my heart. I really feel like such admiration for everybody who has the strength to go out there and push through their own personal stuff just to help folks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of them don't have anyone, or either they don't have anybody, or they don't have anybody that live close, or they're just not close to anybody. It's a sad
Hmm.
thing. Like, you're the only person that they know and see on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And you know it's a sad thing for people that they don't have family members that come until their transition, just to identify them. Or some don't even come and say, okay, I'll send a funeral home over and this and that, and just
And here
yeah.
you are getting close with them people, and they
Yeah.
pass on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be a very special person to do that job. You do.
Yeah. Something works through me. That's the only
It
thing I
has
could
to.
say.
Yeah.
Because
Has to.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes it gets hard.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of deaths?
Yeah. A whole lot.
I bet you did.
And not so much the people that I was taking care of, he made it through, but just other residents around
Mm.
and coworkers. Yeah. Lost a lot of coworkers unnecessarily.
That
Wow.
makes me nervous, Doris. What do you mean, co-workers? That's one of your teammates.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Ugh. You be
That is why
careful, young
Doris is
Yeah.
lady.
always telling us to watch out for the dummies and don't be a dummy, because then it makes her job harder and more heavier. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, my facility has been COVID free for a couple of months now, until recently on Friday. It's like that feeling came back again from the beginning when this whole thing went down.
And I'm
Um,
sure that in itself is pretty traumatic as well for you to have to say, okay, yeah, we were COVID free. I'm sure you felt like a sense of relief going into work. And then all of
yeah,
a sudden, another case appears. And
yeah, and it's from someone from that community who thinks that they'll be singled out.
The Hasidic Jews, let's just talk about it, honey.
Yeah, he brought it into work. I mean, he works in dietary, so yeah, he brought it in and infected a couple of other
Wow.
people. And
Mm.
now they had to scramble and like test all the patients in the building anyway, just to be clear. Because I mean, we were, as the workers, we were getting tested anyway every Wednesdays, once a week. Used to be twice, but now it's once a week. So, patients were clear because they were there and they don't go anywhere.
Right.
So now they had to like test all the patients and stuff, because the stuff coming up from dietary is touched by those people. And then it's touched by the workers who are touching it to give to the patients. So yeah, it was
See,
like,
that's so selfish.
yeah.
So, y'all, it's so ugly.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we have music,
Yeah.
That's the
why we have
second
music.
profound thing you said tonight, Red. The second profound thing you said.
That is why we have music.
Yeah.
That's right.
Music is the answer.
Oh, we got talent.
And Doris is
You couldn't
singing. See, there we go. It's all in there.
So I have a question from our friend Pat, Chef Pat, here on Twitch. He wants to know if during for both of you, or for everyone, he said, during your travels, is there a favorite restaurant or dish that you crave that's not in your city or not available readily to you, and what is it? He's a chef. He wants to know about food. He's a good friend too, and dancing in the parties. So
what's his name?
Chef Pat.
Chef. Is it Pat?
P-A-T. P-A-T.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Chef Pat. Okay. Well, Chef Pat, thank you for asking that question. I'm a food guy. I really do enjoy foods from everywhere. What rings in my brain is I visited Japan for the first time in the late '90s, and it was the first time I seen the chef actually kill the sushi, the shrimp, and just slice them right open right there in front of me. And it's the first time that I've seen a shrimp jump around like that. So he picked the shrimp up and just sliced it open right in front of me, bro. Served it right there. It felt like the meat was still like breathing.
I'm waiting for the part where this sounds delicious.
But let me tell you that sushi was the freshest, tastiest food I've ever had in my life. And they cooked it. This was a particular restaurant. It wasn't like a fast foody kind of place. The guy made the sushi to order, and the care that he took with the utensils, the way they clean the stuff, it was as though they were putting love in every action of the food. So the experience was more than just the taste of the food. It was actually seeing the man do it. The welcome, the whole thing was crazy. So Japan, yeah, I forgot the name of the place. I'm sorry. I don't know the name of the place. I know he's probably cursing me out right now. You gave me all of that. You jerk.
What about you, Doris? What would be like a this from some other place?
I mean, I'm sure you can get Cuban food anywhere, but Miami was for me.
Cuban food,
it was a little spot. I can't think of the name, but it's a little spot on Washington, and I think it was 15, between 14th and 15, I believe. No, 15th and 16th in Washington, and yeah, everything on their menu was yeah. And the other place, there's the simplest thing was when I went to Greece last year with Josh. It was their salad, just plain
Wasn't
salad
that
with
delicious?
feta cheese. What?
Life changing. Did
The
you have the little
freshness, the
fried
taste.
sardines?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Everything, just the taste of everything was like, it's so fresh and different.
Yeah, fresh is the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just excited me. You know, hey, Chef Pat, if you're still listening, if you, friend, could find a way to fuse Cuban food and Japanese food, like Cubanese, and do like a small
I have
little.
a friend that's
I'm
Cubanese.
gonna send
There
you
you
his
go.
page. I'm gonna
Have a
send you his
small little.
IG page, Josh, because he does all kinds of amazing stuff that inspires me in my kitchen.
I'm with it. Turn me on.
I'm gonna send you his page. I'll send it to you.
Like a
For
small
sure.
Cubanese restaurant, right? 50 people packs it out. This way you can have an ongoing. I would love Cuban slash Japanese food. Now you're talking manna from heaven, bro.
The combo from heaven, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
There's nothing like a good meal, y'all. It's
no, there's not. There's not.
nothing like a good meal.
Like a good
And I just want to say, not that anybody asked me, but Chef Pat, when I taste something that I think is delicious, whether it's from here or foreign food or whatever, I then try to recreate it myself because I'm a
There you
chef.
go.
I'm a chef in my head.
Yeah,
So I
all
taste
right.
things sometimes, and then I figure out how they're made. I research them, and then I will attempt to make them myself.
I'm gonna tell you,
I'm a recipe
she's a
guy.
chef in her head, but she's a chef in real life. There are chefs that exist and without like culinary background, and Red is certainly one of them. I would eat her food.
I know red is so dope. I know it. I know it. I know it's good.
And I'm curious, Doris, do you make African dishes?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking to you about that.
Chef Pat said he cooked for you, Josh, when Louis, Anane, Axel, Juliet, and Dawn were
In
at
Spain?
Asia's Fusicology anniversary party.
Well, where were we?
For you that day.
Were we in Spain?
I want to say you were in California, because if it was Asia's birthday party, anniversary party,
Snap! Right.
he said he was the chef for that party.
Oh man! All right, I see you. You talking about the Ford Theater? Was it the Ford Theater?
Yes, Ford Theater in LA.
Yeah. I remember you now. All right,
Yep.
Chef Pat. I see you, brother.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope. I love that you've actually eaten from his hands, because I'm
Yeah. That food was good too. I killed it. I had my own dressing room with a piano in it and a shower, the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
So I had the food in there with me. It was delicious. It was amazing.
Awesome. I'm curious for both of you, there's so many things about being in this industry that make us professionals in our field, right? Like there's certain things that you do, Josh, that that are like routine for you, that and Doris, like the roles that we play in nightlife are not for everybody, and certainly there are things that you learn along the way that are like, these are things that I think that anybody that doing this would need to know. I would love to know if there's something that you could share with folks that is like one of those things that it's like, if you're going to do this, then this is what you definitely need to know.
Sure.
A big old bag of patience.
That was good. That was very good. Wow. I think in the music industry, if you're going to do music, y'all, get an understanding. Gain an understanding, because the music is not just music; it's business. And if you don't do business, you'll end up getting very, very hurt. Very, very. You know what, Rose and Red and Doris, when people do music, I'm in here and I'm birthing a song out of my brain. It does feel like your child. It feels like you're having a birth, and then somebody comes along and snatch your child and sell it. Sell it like a $2 hoe. Don't care nothing about your music. Don't care nothing about it. They selling it to whoever want it. And here you are like, wait a minute. I wanted that for me. I wanted that for my jam, my album,
that's my baby.
And you trust in anybody. So I think a good thing for anybody to do is to gain an understanding. How you gain that understanding is you grab yourself some literature. The books are out there. There's a book called This Business of Music by Donald Passman. This book will enlighten you on the pitfalls and what to look out for, how to read a contract, what to expect, when to get paid, that kind of stuff. Most people don't want to know because it gets too much. They just want to do music and get it over with, dance, have a good time. But when I start spending your money, then you want to know about the business. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
I had to learn that the hard way. I saw, my money getting spent all around me.
It's like, wait a minute, I still got my stuff to take care
I don't even. Y'all got money. I ain't got no money.
Right. Yeah.
How you get a car? I don't even have a car. I'm
What
the one
happened to
did the
me?
music.
Exactly.
How did that happen?
Shady, shady night.
It gets funny when it comes to the money, that's for sure. It's all love until it gets to the money.
Yeah.
Well, Josh, I've got a final question for you.
Sure.
Rob Bass would like to know how it was when you performed at the Paradise Garage with Blaze.
Rob Bass.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rob Bass. Performing at the garage was life-changing experience. I was 16 years old, fresh out of the church. I never really been out like that. And they couldn't let me walk around because I was just too young. But I tell you a funny story. I was devastated, man. I was in there. I had never seen, gay men like that. You know what I mean? It was my first time really being around a gay dude. And I saw one of the brothers from my
That
church.
you know of.
Oh, snap, right? So, being so young, I'm young, I'm full of judgment, I don't know any better. I'm just acting like a kid up in there. But it changed my scope. I learned that, okay, grown people do these kinds of things when behind closed doors. These kinds of things happen. Anyway, I get on the stage. The adrenaline is so high. I had never performed in front of this many people before. Gwen Guthrie just left the stage. Will Downing, or at that time, Wally Jump Jr., he just got finished. He had this jam, and he was on stage scatting. Like, he was killing it, right? So I'm thinking, like, I am about to get on stage after these people. I don't got that kind of skill. So my heart was racing. But Larry Levan had been playing Blaze's jams big time, killing it, right? So when our music jumped on and we did our thing, the crowd knew our music. And man, the pandemonium back in them days, was crazy. The crowd used to actually go crazy. Now we got a little older and more subdued. But back in them days, it was nothing to like not be able to hear the music because the crowd is so daggone loud, Yeah. That was my experience at the garage, man.
That's great.
I love it.
Oh my God, life changing. And then I want to use the proper term, transgendered ladies.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the time. It seemed they were more. It was more of a sight to see, more glam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was taller and the wigs were bigger back then.
Everything about the club was bigger then.
Yeah.
Everything.
The whole
there were lots more
experience.
people just dressing up in general. So whether or not you were a part of that lifestyle, you still may have been flamboyant or dressed in a showy way. So the people that were flamboyant were really pulling no stops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love those times.
Fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I was always a person that loved to wear heels. I mean, I still am. But like for me, my scene, like the scene that I really got to be a part of was Sound Factory Bar, the old one on Hubert.
Oh right, that was the sexy
and
one.
there was this queen there. When I saw her with the heels dancing and voguing and twirling,
killing it.
Next week, I came in there with my heels on. It was like, come on, girl. And from then on, I always went to the club dancing in heels, always, until, a couple of years ago. I started changing up a bit. But yeah,
Yeah, that was a
it
good time.
was extravagant.
Great, great.
I would love to know, before we finish this conversation. I'd love to give our guests an opportunity to just tell us if there's something that you have coming up, or if there's something that you're watching or paying attention to that you would like to share with folks. We'd love to know about it.
Sure. That seems like I'm always talking though. I want to shut up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm doing new music here at Honeycomb, and I'm taking chances with this music because it's not your typical. It's not that at all. It's more like jam band. It's more like mandrill or war.
Nice.
It sounds like that. Horn sections,
Right.
you know, brass construction. Remember that group, Brass Construction? I don't know if you guys know that.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I'm there with it, and I'm really liking how it sounds. And then we got a connection. We're able to do vinyl, and this is the kind of sounds that I'm really interested in. I want my sound to sound current and still sound organic. So, and I'm teeter-tottering with some sounds here in the studio. Dawn came by. I have my own EP that I'm finishing. Dawn's album is finishing. Divinity has a nice rock jazz, sort of Steely Dan kind of vibe that she's doing.
Ooh.
Divinity's voice is a singer. She has a singer-songwriter style, and if you throw a singer-songwriter style in a house music genre, it's a hard fit. You know what I mean? Divinity wants you to hear her lyrics, and she sings softly and pretty and all of that. We're gonna bring that out, more of that, instead of trying to force y'all to dance to it. I'm just gonna do the music, just do the music and make it dope. Taisha Grant is a young lady, the niece of Donna Summer.
Okay. Love
Talented girl, very pretty, songwriter herself. And we're finishing her album. Lamone just came out with this jam yesterday, Sunday. Eddie Kendrick's jam. That's doing really well.
One.
He's number one. Yeah, he went number one. Within 24 hours. That was great. So I'm good. You know, Louis got me over here busy with a couple of remixes. I'm actually working more since the pandemic. You know what I mean? Crazy, right?
But it's a blessing.
It is a true blessing. Only God can do it. Man can't do it like this. Only God can organize it like that. Just go to the website, honeycombmusicstore.com. Catch up with us. I look tired now because I've been running all day. The equipment, listen. Whoa. Oh, I thought I had my equipment on. Sorry. Oh, I do have it on. You hear that?
Yes.
Equipment's still on. It's crazy. So I gotta shut down and go to bed, y'all.
I thought
It's
all day.
bedtime.
Y'all got me up here. It's almost 13 o'clock. I'm not here talking.
Oh, it is?
What about you, Doris? Anything you want to tell us about?
I'm not really working on anything right now, but probably this bike. But
I said probably this bike.
Look, you out here doing more work than all of us, Doris.
That's right.
You are working.
I just want to tell everybody to stay safe, and that's it. Stay safe.
Keep your mask on and vote.
Keep your mask on and vote.
And like I always say,
I'm going Saturday to do my early voting, and so I could complain.
Right.
There you go.
You want to do some complaining, Doris?
You can't complain if you don't vote.
Yep. Don't say nothing.
That's what Obama told us.
Yep.
Obama, number one, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. How y'all before y'all leave? Are y'all optimistic about the election?
We have to be.
Yeah.
We have to be, or else we would just be between that and COVID or whatever. We would just walk around feeling, at least me, it'd be just crushing.
Yeah.
To not have that. So I have to believe, but there's just no telling what can go on, because I never thought this would happen. So
I agree with you, Red.
As much as I'm optimistic about most things, I've never, ever, 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 ever been optimistic with regards to politics. I don't think that any of them have our best interest at heart. And I think that, there's a lot that we need to do in order to like really get that focus back on the things that are important versus the things that are profitable. I do think that there's definitely a lesser of two evils in this instance, but I'm never really super optimistic with regard to politics. As optimist, I'd like try to stay positive in every part of my life, and I really try not to live in negativity, but it's hard for me to believe that, whoever's going to be in office is really going to do everything that we really need for us to be whole and us to be taken care of. And
none of us could ever do that. Ever.
We're never going to get it,
ever.
Everything. So
yeah,
I'm cautiously optimistic.
This is the lesser of two evils at this point.
Yeah.
So that's
scary but sad at the same time.
Is it exciting and joyful even if the correct one wins? Not really. Not really. But I can say I haven't seen a debate or a town hall, or like I don't need to see any of that. I know what I'm gonna do, but it's just the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Red.
And my name is Cynthia Rose.
And this has been the Bedtime Stories.
I want her to sing the song.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
It's bedtime.
All right. Exactly.
It's bedtime.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, I enjoyed myself. Thanks for inviting me.
Listen, if you're going to put music to this, we could be up here till like 3 o'clock or whatever.
We can make it happen. We can do it.
Well, I'm ready, so. But thank you folks so much. This has been great. And, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
So
much.
My pleasure.
Be sure to check out what you've missed of this conversation on the archives in our YouTube channel, Sin Rose and Redness's Bedtime Stories. All of the archives from all of our shows are there. And thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Red.
And I'll be posting a link to the YouTube on my pages. So thanks, everyone. And to the people out there, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for waiting for us for our technical issues. And good night.
Good night.
Good night, good night, good night.